Hi everyone, this is Sahad, and today we're going to be creating an organic house track in the style of All Day I Dream and Junadeep from scratch. So grab your tea and follow along with me. So in this example, I'm going to be using sounds from my Organic House Daydreamer pack. And I'm going to start off by choosing a loop that I really like. Yeah, this one sounds pretty full already. Just gonna go with this. Decrease the volume a little bit so I have something to work with. I'm actually gonna put this here. Okay, this might be a little bit too quick. I'm gonna change the BPM to 120 BPM. I'm going to change it back to complex because I don't want to warp this sample. I'm just going to keep it like this. Then I'm going to start looking for a kick that might fit well to this top loop. Let me take these three and see which one fits best. Already sounds pretty good. So the first one's soft, the second one is a bit softer. Third one's really clicky. Actually gonna stick with the second one here. Then I'm going to turn on sidechain compression. I might actually choose the first kick. Because it's a bit snappier. Gonna go into the claps, select the clap. You can see that it's pre-shifted by 7 milliseconds, so I'm gonna open up this delay panel over here and pre-shift the clap by 7 milliseconds. See which clap fits best. I like this one a bit more. It's a bit shorter, snappier. Add a hi-hat. Let's duplicate this and add an open hi-hat as well. Cool. Delete these tracks. Name this open hat and this one closed hat. Close and open. This is how our drum sounds without the top loop. It's a pretty standard groove, but with the top loop it's really well filled out. Because it has like this shaker and tom groove inside. But we're gonna add some more percussions on top. Actually really like this loop here. Yeah, it adds like a really pleasant texture on top. I'm gonna mono the bass on the top loops here. See if we have any shakers that might additionally fit to the loops that we have already. Oh, this one sounds pretty loose. Yeah, this one's this one sounds pretty cool. I'm gonna add a tom loop. Yeah, this one's nice. Oh, it's a bit too loud. Cool, let's loop this. Actually duplicate it, loop the whole thing. And then let's look for something melodic. Yeah, that's actually dope. Let's go with this sample then. See if we can match the tune of the top loop to the piano. I'm gonna use shifter for this. If you're using an older version of Ableton, you can also use frequency shifter. This is the updated version of that. Put it on frequency. Yeah, kind of stick with this. It's a really minor change, but I like it. See if we can add like an arpeggio on top. Yeah. Let's add a high cut filter on the chords. See if we can add a bassline that fits this as well. But I might end up taking it out because I want it to sound a bit more organic and subtle. Yeah, that's actually pretty fire. Add like a background texture as well. Warping. Actually, I need to warp it. See if we can change this sidechaining a bit, so it's not too harsh. I like to have gain reduction about 5 to 10 dB of gain reduction on the sidechain channel, and reduce the threshold to my liking. I don't really like when the ratio is up too high, when it's on infinity to 1. It ends up sounding really harsh and aggressive. High ratio is probably well for genres like, I don't know, future house, bass house, genres that have like a really strong pump effect in the tracks. But for organic house, we're aiming for a sound that's a bit more subtle and soft, and you can already hear that in the sidechain compression. So a soft ratio is definitely what I'm looking for here. So the 3 different parameters that I really like to mess around with when it comes to sidechain compression for this genre, especially organic house, is the ratio, the threshold, and the release, because that really determines like the way your track breathes, if that makes any sense. And then I pay attention to how much the gain is being reduced. I really want it to get back to 0, around 0 dB. If I increase the release too much, then the track starts becoming too overcompressed and it's not really breathing properly. And it doesn't also reach the 0 point, as you can see here. Yeah. This seems to be the sweet spot for me. So I'm going to leave it there. Everything is being sidechained besides the kick, clap, and the hi-hat. Basically that which makes up our core rhythm isn't being sidechained. Everything else is being sent through the sidechain ducking channel, which in turn is being reduced in volume by the sidechain compressor. And the kick is triggering the sidechain compressor. So everything's being reduced in volume by the kick. Gonna leave out the hi-hat for the moment. And what I like to do from here on, when we've established the main parts of our loop, is add in some texture elements or some ear candy, perhaps some vocals. Oh yeah, I really like this vocal sample here. I'm gonna take this, but we're gonna have to match the key of the track. Let me actually change this to Complex Pro because I like the warp mode better. And I'm just going to mess around with the pitch until I find the right key. This sounds about right. Mess around with the warp mode a bit so we get our sound that we want. Can also shift the pitch up. Yeah, that sounds better. We're going to reverse this here and add it as a fill right before the next section hits. And add some, let's add some echo actually. Go to audio effects, delay loop echo. And increase the reverb here, the decay on the reverb, ping pong. That's just fire. That's awesome. Yeah. Gonna drink a sip of tea to reward myself. Can also turn off the bassline. We can also turn off the bassline and see if we can find anything else that might go well. Can also add like a subgroove. Gonna create a new audio track for this and add the subgroove here. You can already see that the track starts getting a different vibe. These subgrooves tend to sound more organic because they're percussive and short bass sounds or sub sounds. And this bass line over here is a bit more dancey, a bit more groovy, but it really depends on the style that you're aiming for. I usually like these deep house bass lines because they sound a bit more emotional, have a bit more character to them, but like a lot of organic house artists also tend to use these bass lines or these subgrooves here. Sounds cool as well. Just have to readjust the key. To find out the right key, I usually like to pitch the bass sample up 1 octave or 12 semitones. Yeah. And then pitch it down an octave again. Then we can take out the melodic elements from here. Remove some of that really muddy sub bass. The vibe's completely different with a subgroove, but it still sounds very organic and almost a bit more tribal. I really love the way you can switch around these bass lines and grooves to achieve a completely different vibe. So depending on what type of vibe you're looking for in the track, you can use different bass sounds. You can use a bass sound that sounds a bit more melodic, that has a melodic progression inside, or you can choose a bass sound that has more of a subgroove to it. It really depends on your style and what you're looking for. This is exactly the reason why I included both types of bass sounds in the pack. Melodic bass lines with a progression and subgrooves. So feel free to check them out and find out what fits you best. Let's actually change the kick. Yeah, I like the more punchy kick sample. It actually goes really well with the bass line. Oh, the open hat adds so much energy. Gonna add some drum bus to add some more crunchiness to the drums. You know what I'm saying? Some bit of that crunch. Woo! I'm loving this. Yeah. You really need to be rather careful when it comes to using drum bus because you can really easily overdo it. But in this case, I'm just adding some soft saturation, some drive, crunch, and taking out some of those high frequencies with the dampen tool. Because this boom button, you might go a little too far with that. Yeah, that's definitely not what we're looking for, so let's keep it at this. And what I like to do from here is duplicate whatever we have already, loop this, take out the hi-hat on the first part. There we go. What I'm gonna do from here is add a low cut to the kick. Right about here. And automate this guy so it's on right here. Gonna copy this and add it to the subgroove as well. What I like to do to transition between parts is take out the kick for about a bar and add a transition sound. So for a transition sound, I'm actually going to head over into a different pack of mine called Ambiente and choose non-tonal transitions. Yeah, this is the one. I'm gonna choose this guy here, remove the warp. I want the sample to sound clean as it can be. Reduce the volume on this. We already have the core vibe of the track established. The track fits to the vibe, the energy's right. And what I like to do from here is just take what we have and duplicate it as much as we can. Add and subtract elements from here. Just see if we can take out the hi-hat for another 8 to 16 bars. Exactly, add it back in here. Perhaps take out the shaker loops for the beginning. Reintroduce them in this part here. And what we might want to do as well is add another percussion here, percussion sound. So we might create a MIDI track, add in drum rack. Let's see if we can find it under instruments. And what I like to do from here is go into the samples from Daydreamer. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. Drums and one-shots, percussion. I'm gonna take these, put them inside here, and start creating new drum grooves. And if you have like an Ableton push, it's really cool to assign these one-shots to the individual patterns or pads from your keyboard or your MIDI controller. I have this guy over here, and what I like to do is every now and then push the pads to see which percussion sound fits my track the best. Or you can manually draw in the notes like I'm doing right now. And let's make these. Yeah, this one's cool. Nope. And take this, duplicate this, perhaps like that. I'm gonna reduce the volume. Gonna take out this last one and duplicate it again. There we go. That was pretty cool. And we might want to remove these chords from the beginning. Take out the bass from here. There we go. And we might want to add the chords back in this part. And remove, add the bass back in. Can take our transition sound and put it back here. Remove the sub bass and our little build up that we have here. You can always switch bass lines. Depending on what fits our style the most. So this was a quick tutorial on how to create organic house from scratch. I could go way more in depth from here on, but I'm gonna leave it at this point. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help me out. And if you are interested in these sounds, head into the link down in the description, grab the Daydreamer pack. So keep on going and make the best out of your sound. Bless up. Peace.